we're trying to learn and understand autism because we have so many of our friends, so many of our sisters, brothers, so many of our people in our community have children that have autism, and it's very good that we educate ourselves on autism because it could be you that's being told that you have a child that's got autism, but then how do you react? So that's what we're looking at tonight, and also what kind of help can we get from the community, which is what I want to go on to next. Because I remember one time when I actually, before we did this topic, because we did this topic earlier where we were looking at so many different children with needs, so I came across a child that's got ADHD with, and this son was with his mom, and this boy was watching South Park. For those of you that know South Park, this is a cartoon that no child should be watching, literally till your age of 18 or something. This is for like those 18 and above, I think personally. But this boy was about, I think, four. I think he was about 4 or 5, and he was watching South Park. And this boy would literally just swear. And I was like, oh my goodness. Literally saying words, even me personally, I find uncomfortable, kind of like saying. So, but for me, I was kind of like shocked. But then bless the mom, she explained. She was like, sorry, my son has ADHD, and my son, the only thing he likes watching is South Park. And then when he watches South Park, he goes to school, he swears, and they keep calling me. But then this son was not diagnosed yet, because I think you have to get to the age of 6 before you are actually diagnosed. So obviously, the son was still going to a normal school, and he was still being treated like a normal child. So whatever he's doing, he's being treated as if there's nothing wrong with him, and he should know what to do. So every time he does something wrong in school, they call the mom. She has to go into school, collect him, or whatever, or something's happened. But for you, having your child who's autistic, looking back now, or even how did the community receive you? Let's say you're out in public, you're out there, and you're with your child. How did people perceive you? Because when we see sometimes children that have special needs, many of us actually have no clue. Many people have no clue how to react.
You see, because he has sensory issues.
Mm.
So what sensory issues are? A lot of them have sensory issues. Is like, one, they don't like noise.
Mm.
They don't like noise, and it's their sense of hearing is so amplified. So if I was out in public with my son, he will hear something that's way, way, way there. So you find he'll get startled because I can't hear what he can hear. He won't hear what's in the periphery. He will hear something that's way, way, way there. So he'll get startled. He can run off. So that's one thing, is they're very, very sensitive to noise and things like light. So they don't like light. So if you are in an environment, one, it's noisy, you've got all of these people coming towards you, or you're in a crowded place, of course it's uncomfortable for them, So what you actually need to do is, protect them, have ear defenders or something, so that they're not, well, this is for the parents anyway, if they know, before you take them out there. But then also with people, is just to ignore. It's much, much easier if people don't stare. Okay, if people just get on with what you're doing. If you can't help, don't look around or don't stand around, because that actually makes it worse for the child itself, for the child, because they're probably one. Okay, so let me explain with my son. So when we went to the doctor's surgery, he would, in his mind, people should sit in a certain way. So, if people were sitting with their legs crossed, one is sitting with the legs crossed the other way, he would actually go and start rearranging people so that they sat with their legs crossed in one way. He would collect the books and pack all the magazines because he wants order. So for someone that's new or someone that doesn't know him, that's very strange behavior. And then if people don't comply, then he actually is going to cry, have a meltdown, because that is what he wants. He would, go turn people's faces, like you could turn your face so that you're all facing one way. We're used to it. So it's something that's very different and strange for people who don't know him. So what we would do is, if we are going anywhere, like to the doctor, we tell them we are coming, and then there's a room. So they put you somewhere where, one, people don't interfere with you, and you don't interfere with people, because you actually can't help the way this child is going to behave. So for strangers, I think if you don't know really, it's just best to move on. Don't stay if you can't help, unless of course the child is running to danger, then maybe you want to help. But then mostly it's like, just don't stay, because that's the worst thing. And don't make the mom feel they're a bad mom, because really it could be one of so many things that the mother maybe doesn't even know that is happening to the child.